Welcome to PAO Fans International. We have an international guest from Greece, Mitso. Welcome. We also have Nick and Panathafan. Welcome, boys, and obviously our international star, Mitso.
Thank you, thank you. Good to be back on the pods. It's been a while for me,
It has
but
been a
happy to be
while,
back.
but it's always great to have you on. Nick, Panathafan, welcome as well.
Ali Hronia.
Happy New
Happy
Year,
New
boys.
Year.
Happy New
Oh,
Year.
fans out there.
First pod of
Ali
this of the new.
Chronia, yeah. Oh my God. Και χρόνια πολλά today if you guys have anybody.
Yeah, we all have someone.
Yeah, the goal scorer from today.
Yeah.
The great man himself. This is going to be a fun one. Oh, I'm psyched for this one. And the Katara of the derbies is finally broken, albeit temporarily. We might end the round in first. We don't know. Things are looking up. Things are looking good. And we always what we used to lament on. Why can't we have success simultaneously in football and basketball? Or who knows? Who knows what 2025 is going to bring? But so far, we're off to a flyer.
Let's
Yeah, keen to discuss. Keen to get into it.
let's kick things off with how things started. So this morning or last night, wherever you're from, Panathinaikos defeated PAOK in the derby in front of an empty stadium due to the previous crowd issues with a Crotida. Panathinaikos defeated PAOK 2-1. PAOK opened the scoring in the second minute, courtesy of Zivkovic. What happened there was Ingerson challenged for a header in the air. Ball went straight to, I believe it was Moog, who found Zivkovic by himself and just put it in the far corner. Good finish. Um, 12th minute, 41 scored, courtesy of a long ball from Ingerson, picked out Ioannidis, who outmuscled the defender. Um, Kotarski came out, thought he just easily rounded him and placed it into the net. 60th minute, Baba Rahman from Bulk got his second yellow for stamping, and the big item was Unahi in the 90th minute outside the box. There was an interchange pass that found Palestri, who first timed it to Unahi. Unahi beat Silky Smooth Skill, the first defender, and plenty of time, plenty of space in the box, opened his body and placed it in the far corner past Kotarski to give us the 2-1 lead. Boys, let's kick things off with how you saw the match, what you liked, what you didn't like. Let's go with our international guest, Mitso.
The first thing I thought, it was good to see that the team did not crumble, second minute conceding in a derby. It's tough. It was good to see immediately after the goal that things did not seem to fall apart. It looked like we had a plan for attacking, and there were multiple different methods of attacking that the team used, whether it was long balls going from the right, primarily using the wings, trying to make plays through the middle, connecting with Ioannidis. So that was good. And I think the biggest bright side of the game was seeing Ioannidis coming into the game, not just scoring, but being involved, being active, creating chances. It looks like he's finding himself again after the rough patch he had in the beginning of the season. We've seen the last month or so he's picked up. So that was probably the best highlight in addition to the win, obviously, that I saw. But yeah, those are my key takeaways. Nick?
Um, well, if we take a before the game, I was kind of shocked with a couple of things in our lineup, especially in that midfield. I was expecting to see Unai start. Obviously, it worked out for the better that he didn't, and he came on and he won us the game. And then I didn't expect Maksimovic to start in this one either. That was a bit of a shock there, but it was a masterstroke. It all paid dividends. Like he fought fire with fire, that physical presence early on. Look, I did say this is going to be a fun one and all that, but if we got a nitpick and all that, that's yes, it's your first game of the year. You've had a 10 or so day break. Just be alert. Start the new year off strongly. Be alert in the opening minutes. Don't concede a cheap goal like that. It's Ingerson to blame. I also put the blame on Aral for that one as well, to deal with that second ball. And then Dragovski was stranded. Not really much he could do. We did well, though, to get back into it with 40, and they'll be saying the same about the first goal they conceded. Obviously, very avoidable, very preventable, but that's what 40 does best. And as you were saying, Dimitri, that's the 40 of old, and he almost had a double in the first half. The one where they played him through and he hit the post, hit the left upright. I'm always, me personally, not that I've ever played at a high level, obviously, but I'd be saying aim at the far post and make the keeper work for it, make him save it. Instead, he tried to catch him out at the near post. I would have preferred he shot at the far post, as I said. Maksimovic, second half, had a decent chance with his header. The red card, well, second yellow, that obviously both yellows were yellows. After that, though, so we're dominating up until that point. I thought 11 against 10, our dominance waned. Maybe that's where the onus was on us even more and the pressure ramped up. We had control for the whole game, but we won't, other than the goal, the only sort of clear-cut chance we created was Vayanidis, who was also outstanding. That's another big talking point of this one, the two Greeks, Vayanidis and Ioannidis, that right side combination, which were, with Tete, when Vayanidis played him through in the half chance for Tete, quick snapshot at the near post. Then the goal very well worked with Bellistri and Unai, and great finish and much needed. The better team won, like 18 shots to 3. We complete and utter domination. The one criticism, not even criticism, the one question mark leveled at Victoria all this time was, can he do it in a derby? Well, he answered it emphatically. Yes, he can. Obviously, Olympiacos and AEK that we play later this month, they're going to pose different challenges and different threats due to the way they play, but we've struggled against PAOK, and we know it. We've sat here lamenting it in last season and earlier this season. We've really struggled against this side, and it's the same players that struggled under the same coach, and under Alonso. Victoria's working miracles. 13 games, 11 wins, that is now. Undefeated in the league.
I think that if I add to the comments, it's our best game under Victoria so far, and acknowledging it, strong opponents in terms of PAOK. The way we played was beautiful, particularly 11 on 11. I think Nicky hit the nail on the head. We sort of lost our dominance when they got the red card, and you can see that they were just trying to clog up their half and prevent us from scoring. So that's understandable. But the way we knocked the ball around, the way we actually seemed to know, and Victoria really did his homework, and he played them on a counter, which is PAOK's game typically. But you saw it that when we moved with precision, good passing, finding our players. I think that they're under that sort of format seems to do well, and it takes the players on and creates a bit of chaos in the defence. But definitely the highlight, I think, Dimitri, you hit the nail on the head. 40, and as I was watching him today, I said 40's back. And he's scored goals leading up to this, and obviously the great goal against Dynamo Minsk. But today, the way he played, he bossed that defence. The strength on the ball, the speed, everything he did today, it was the 40 we saw last year when he was in form. That was very, very pleasing. The other thing as well, Maksimovic, I thought it was fantastic. Credit to him. And who would have thought, playing through balls like Ruben Perez did back a couple of years ago. But I'm Maksimovic. They say he's the only capable of passing 3 or 4 metres to the player closest to him. Yep. Proved that wrong today, didn't he? So, well done.
I'd give him man of the match, honestly. I know Forti, obviously, as Sterg and Dimitri have touched on, obviously had a blinder, but I'd be leaning towards Maksimovic.
Bayanidi was amazing though
He
as
was.
well.
He
Yeah.
was. So was Tete, as you said.
Yeah. So, and that's a great thing. It was Arau's probably the disappointment, but looking at it, he's consistently a great player. So I'll cut him a bit of slack. But the rest of the team, it was hard to pick a player that let us down. Maybe Jurisic was quiet by his standards, but he had a role to play.
Yeah, I thought Forty was, for me, the best player on the pitch. He was just dominant, and they were just resorting to holding him, grabbing him, just little, trying to put him off his game. But thought he was very good. I really liked that confidence. That break really did the team wonders. We thought we had a lot of momentum going to the break. Why did we, unfortunately, we got the break. We could have continued with the momentum, but I think the break did a lot of wonders. Get those players that were just coming back to form slightly, just get their bodies right because now we know January got congested fixtures. But thought he really stood up. Yeah, Tete was very good. He was probably one of his better games as distributing the ball. He didn't do a whole lot of dribbles, a lot of the selfish plays that we've seen him in previous games. He was less selfish and he teed up, I think, 40 for two brilliant plays as well. That one through ball that he almost scored. And then there was another passage of play. I was disappointed, I think, in the early goal. Think I'm putting a bit of blame on Mladenovic because Zivkovic was there. He was marking him, but then he was just standing in no man's land. Zivkovic had all the space because Ingerson pulled out to make the headed challenge. So it was frustrating that Mladenovic just stayed put where he was without looking where Zivkovic is because we know Zivkovic always scores against us. You give that player a bit of space, he's going to punish. And he always has a knack of punishing Panathinaikos. Thankfully that we didn't um, drop points because of that. Um,
Mm.
what I didn't like was the antics once again of Papatzim acting like a clown and making it about himself, especially at 1-1. Um, absolute idiot. And Vainidis was every right to tell him off at that point. We're not a small team. We're not York Santi. He needs to just get off quickly. Every game, it feels like he's always getting a yellow or a red. The club's just got to take a stand with him at some point. He can't be that animated on the bench. Um, so I did like how Vainidis was just giving it to him. Yeah, and obviously I did like Unahi's impact, and Maximovic was brilliant, but Unahi's impact coming off the bench as well was they were both all good subs. Just he's just getting that confidence. So, while I did say I think I was disappointed with him in that first half of the season, it's because this is what we're expecting. These kind of performances, it's finally now those performances are coming. So when I did my play reviews, it was based on that first half of what we've seen. It wasn't that we know what he's capable of, it's what we had seen. So just putting those strong performances from him, he'll easily become a fan favorite. And that win was our first derby win of the season. Under Alonso, we had two draws and a loss. Rui Vitoria, one game, one win against an opponent that gives us trouble, especially in Athens. It's been, 3 years or so in the league that we've beaten them. Um, so that was very good as well, getting that win. That's going to lead us. We got Panserraikos, but after that, it's another derby ache. So you're probably looking at 60,000 to close to sold out game there, especially with that W win and the momentum that we've got. So that's the importance of, beating PAOK at the moment. We're temporarily first. Things might change by the time people listen to the podcast as Olympiacos play away to Panathinaikos, which is no easy fixture. So that's one to look out for as well. But yeah, at the moment, Panathinaikos temporarily first place. I don't think any of us would have even wildly imagined that we'd at some point be on top of the ladder.
Or as at the start of January.
Mm.
It just shows.
Definitely not. Definitely not January.
yeah, we've come as a long way since Alonso, especially what the stability that Rui Vitória has done, what he's brought to the team, the belief as well. And there was a post today by Zavelas post game about the team's never been more united. Now, there's two ways to interpret it. I took it as this interpretation, taking a little bit of a dig at Alonso that under him the team wasn't united. I've made comments like that senior players looked unhappy. Your Forte, your Bacacetas, they just didn't look happy in that team. Ever since Rui's appointment, the team does look happier. The players are smiling. They're, the huddles after every game, the grit that they're showing. You can interpret it that, or you can also interpret it that Zavelis is just trying to show that to the fans that, hey, we're united, come back us. So I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a pot shot at Alonso's style, and look how happy the team is now.
I think, like I said, in his one of his interviews, said that credit has to go to the coach for the success. It's not just us players. The coach has given us the framework to succeed. So, yeah, and Bacaseta is very clearly showing that he prefers playing under Victoria as opposed to Alonso.
Yeah, yeah. You could see under Alonso, even when he was on the bench, just warming up, he just did not look interested. He did not look happy. Straight away once we took over, you see even the just his pictures, Instagram, just his socials. There was just happiness. He's smiling more in there. So those kind of optics, you can see the climate of what the atmosphere in the club was then to now.
The other
On
thing
the,
as well, I'll
go,
add,
go, go, go.
so the one thing that pleased me as well that Victoria did, I think in the post-match press conference, say that we need to improve our organisation in defence. So I think he's the first to highlight that the way we organise ourselves in our defence needs improvement. And I think, yeah, I agree with you, Sturge, that Mladenovic obviously was ball watching as opposed to watching his player. But I also question whether the whole back line was out of formation for that play and whether we were just all over the shop and Mladenovic didn't know if he had a role to play there or not. So um, clearly the good thing is the coach sees it and he's called it out. No one's questioning him on it. Let's see if he's able to change that and improve that, which I'm confident he will.
What I really liked about this was the amount of chances that we really limited Bulk to three chances. One was obviously the goal, and they had, I think it was that double chance, and that's really the chances that they had. We really restricted them. In the first half, Bulk had more majority of the possession, but we just created the chances. We only got the possession, but we looked like we played better because we were doing more with the ball, while Bulk weren't showing too much with the ball. While they were having the ball, they weren't really showing much creativity. But once they went down to 10, we started seeing a lot more of the ball, and it was like we took over their role where we had a lot of the ball, but we just weren't doing much with it. But yeah, we were lucky, I won't say lucky, but we were glad that we got that goal there. Because it just looked more unlikely as the game was going that we might have that late goal that we were used to because nothing really was getting created. There was, a few semi-decent chances, but I think the chances were coming when it was more 11 on 11.
That ties in perfectly to what I was going to say with Papadimitriou and his antics. That played into Bulk's hands. Does he not realise that? You don't have to be Einstein to figure out that we know the Bulk bench is known for provoking. That's their forte. They're good at it. They do it everywhere they go. Why get sucked into their games when the onus is on you, 11 against 10, to win the game? Well, I'm glad Vayanidis put him in his place, and in hindsight now, I'm glad it was behind closed doors, and the cameras were able to pick up the audio to that. And he's embarrassed himself once again to the fan base. Papadimitriou. And then that ties into my next point as well. Our season slowly is being characterized by all these late goals. I've lost count of how many games we've either won or drawn at the death this season. There's Panathinaikos away. There's this one. There was Galifea away, even though it was at Leoforos where we got a draw early part of the season. There's probably been others as well.
Yeah, Leviticus, the Spora.
Levadiakos right at the start.
Asteras Panserraikos.
Asteras away, of course.
Panathinaikos.
I said that one.
Yeah.
That's about what,
Panserraikos.
5-6 games, or won or drawn games. We picked up vital points in the 90th minute or later. That's a champion mentality right there.
It's fine.
It shows we've got character. And it's going to serve us well into the second half of the season, right? The confidence is there now.
Mm.
So it's all smiles.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how quickly we turned it around, because he mentioned Victoria in his opening presser. He hasn't got a magic wand. Is he sure about that?
Or maybe he's just sticking to the basics that he's really good at, which Alonso couldn't even fulfill. Because he's getting the best out of each player as well.
Everyone.
And I think he's recognising that each player needs a clear purpose on the pitch, a role they play. And look, Maksimovic is a perfect example. He's not a true out-and-out 6. He's more of an 8, but he uses him on that left side of the midfield now. It does drop back a fair bit. Covers a lot of kilometres as well. Alonso couldn't even get half of that output from him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. As I always say, the Rui Vitória has brought the stability, especially in that midfield. Under Alonso, it was just a free-for-all for all teams to just run through that midfield against us. But now it's like a no-go zone.
Speaking of the midfield, I know it's easy for us now as fans after a late winner, big derby win and all that, to come on and say, pay whatever it is, keep him permanently and all that. What's it going to take? Are we confident with Alafuzos getting this done for Unai?
I don't think 11.
Hopefully we go back and renegotiate something a bit lower. Yeah.
I think 7.5, 8 mil will be our max.
What's our club record's about that, isn't it? 8 or 9?
I think 9.
They say
8,
9.
9.
We'd have to go back to Constantino.
Constantino, say one of those two.
Cisse.
You say, was it?
I'm pretty sure it's Cisse, yeah.
I think that he was
Yeah.
9 from memory.
Yeah.
So the question is, are there going to be other clubs wanting him as well? That's the concern. So it may not be within our control anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, he may want to go play in a bigger league next year too. He may not want to stay in the Greek league. So there's a few factors there at play. It's not just up to us. Let's enjoy.
Hopefully he loves Greece. Hopefully he's just loving his time in Greece.
Well,
He's certainly enjoying himself on a pitch. That's for sure.
yeah, I was about to say that. You can see even the build up, the chemistry that is with Tete. You just see their bromance is all blossoming. They did the Dragon Ball Z, how they merged together. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, he's enjoying himself, and I think that's what he really wanted. So who knows? Who knows what might.
Gunplay. We said it in our chat today. The three of us, we did an episode the night before we signed him, when it was all rumors still. I didn't sleep that night. It was either us or Olympiacos. I didn't sleep until it was announced that we got him.
Yeah, the last minutes of the transfer window.
Hey, he was being chased by Premier League clubs like 18 months ago. You don't lose that overnight.
No. The only question mark is his character off the pitch a troubled character? Does he cause issues in the dressing room? Maybe that's the issue. Don't know. I haven't seen or heard anything. Just that's the case.
Yeah, so far, no.
Yeah, a winning team will always breed smiles and good news. The moment a team just goes into that bit of a form slump, that's when cracks appear. It's just a natural sort of thing. But this win, like I said, does put us temporarily into first place. So, and the thing is, it's rattled a lot of these other fan bases. There's just, one particular group that, has, I don't know if they watch us or not. They may, because they seem to quote something that we've said about Alafouzos, but it's funny that there's a so-called group that wants to make a comment about us that almost got in trouble with their lead Greek group for using their names trying to sell their merch. So maybe just stick in your lane.
Mm.
And yeah, don't worry about us. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
On the Reds though, as we said in this one, and ironically, PAOK issued a statement slamming the refs after the game. Bubba Rahman after the game came out and said it was a red card, all my fault. I cost us the game. End of right there. And all these other Reds that they were talking about, are they not all red cards?
Yeah. Look, they were very lucky. I think was it Lovren that brought down 40 on the break. VAR reviewed it. Went to VAR now. I probably thought yellow at best, but VAR can't rule on the yellow, so VAR can only rule play on or red. I didn't think upon replay, it was that break, if anyone remembers, it was a long ball. I didn't think 40 may have got there. So I would have thought in when you look at the replay yellow, but they were very lucky. The referee just allowed that to play on. He allowed like a couple of plays to just play on where 40 was being obviously the target. So they can't really have too many complaints about the officiating because we saw some missed calls and the red card's a red card. Like for starters, you can't shove a player like that. That's always going to get you in trouble. Baba knew what he did there. He just completely shoved the player. It wasn't like a low push to the stomach or chest. It was like close to the chin up. Some referees might even give that a red as violent conduct. Yellow was the correct call there. And then the stamp. He was late. He knew it. He walked off. There was no protest from him. He knew it was a silly late foul.
Stunned, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got him on the ankle. He got him late. When you're on the yellow, you run the risk. Like you're gonna give referee essentially no choice.
Yeah, they're going to have their parapona regardless. And as for the other club down in the Limani, they're used to years ago when they'd fall over because the wind would change and it'll be a red card to the other team. So having it go a different way, it's psychologically a bit of a challenge to accept.
Yeah, it's just funny that
You
straight
haven't forgotten the call we played them, where it was a red sauce in the box. The way he brought that ball down, it's like it was a rugby league fullback bringing that ball down in the box.
yeah.
It caught it with both arms. It was a good catch, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to go down the path that they want to go down because it's just silly. They focus on their club, we can focus on ours, what we do. That's going to bring us now to the Atromitos game. So we got the second leg of the cup coming up. That is also going to be played behind closed doors. Now, the first game we won 2-1, the away game. I'm not overly fussed on this game, whether we win or not. I'd I'm hoping to see a heavily rotated team personally, just for the fact that um, the league for me has taken precedence. So just a recap on that game, we beat Atomikotos away 2-1. That was a Sharon and a Unahi goal after we went down 1-0. This is obviously the home game now. Atromitos is starting to show a little bit of a form slump as well. They lost to Asteras Tripoli. So, um, I'm not too fussed about the Greek Cup, to be honest, because after this it's Olympiacos, and you do you really want to go more into physical sort of games, having extra two derbies against Olympiacos or not? Like, you got to weigh up everything. No player wants to lose, and every player coach wants silverware as well. So I can see us obviously putting in a solid performance, going for everything. But like I said, I'm not too fussed. I won't be too down if we lose to Atromitos and we're knocked out. Like, I won't be too upset by it.
Even a draw is enough to clinch a spot in the quarters. And with Olympiacos, I'm not sure if it's the cup or the league. It might be a good time to get them because one of those games has to be around the time they've got their two remaining European games. So they'll have games piling up thick and fast as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but fixtures will get moved around to accommodate that.
Not yet. I don't think they would from now. That last season, that didn't happen till the quarters onwards in Europe.
Ah,
You're
it's
talking about
in
the
the
cup.
Greek league.
The only thing though, Sturge, that sort of worries me is that if we have a form slump and we end up third or fourth, that cup wins gives us a good European ticket again. I mean, really, that's the only reason why we're in Europe this year. So it's a good insurance policy from a European competition point of view. Hopefully, we don't need it. I get a feeling that we may have a better chance not needing it this year, but still, though, that insurance policy is quite valuable. But I get the point about the fixture congestions, and this will be third priority in terms of
Yeah,
league
definitely.
and Europe. Yeah, that I agree with.
Or line up then guys like Lodigi and Godziras, we'd say nailed on. I don't know about Zeka. Yeah,
Sharon,
yeah, nailed on. Yeah, maybe Lignos Mancini, one of them.
Mancini, Pelistri. Um,
Yeah,
so just for context, the game is scheduled Wednesday night in Greece. Um, it is a 8:30 p.m. game in Greece. In Australia, it will be, or Sydney, Melbourne, it will be 5:30 a.m. Thursday morning. Um, not too sure about the American time zones. You might want to check that out, but we'll be in Greece on a Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. kickoff.
New York 1:30.
Perfect. They get such friendly times.
It's yeah. I'm assuming it'll be heavy rotation. I'm just not sure. Do the away goals count extra? Is it the away goals or no? Did they scrap that?
No, that's been scrapped. Yeah.
if they had it, we wouldn't have won the cup last year.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Olympiacos, we would have been out there on away goals.
And probably Paul Gasol, I think.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we do have Atromitos, and then obviously back to the Greek League, Panserraikos away. That will be on a Sunday night. That is, let me just work it out. 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. Greek game. Great time Sunday 4:30 p.m. in Sydney, Melbourne 1:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Um, that's Panserraikos.
9:30 New York in the morning, Sunday morning.
It's probably a good time to take on Panathafan. They're in a bit of a form slump as well. They're coming
Yeah.
off a loss to Leviticus. They went down to 10 players, 1-0. Their recent form hasn't been great. Yeah, they drew against Panathinaikos at home. They lost to 10-man Aris. They got thumped by PAOK. They got smacked by Panionios in the cup prior to that. The last win was the start of December. A good 2-1 win against Steras Tripolis. But I think, yeah, now's a good opportunity for us who's playing in form against a team that is probably out of sorts essentially.
Well, more of the same. That's obviously a bigger priority, as you alluded to, than the Atromitos game. So the guys that will be hopefully rested for Atromitos will come back in. Worth noting, Bakasetas will be suspended for this one. So we'll see Unai from the start, I'd imagine, for sure there. And highly unlikely, I'd love a new signing to be announced between now and then.
Yeah, I don't, I don't.
Nothing on the horizon.
Yeah, no, I think that's wishful thinking. But
Yeah.
there's one, possibly two big fixtures in the next round as well. So Olympiacos host Aris, which Aris is never an easy fixture. You don't know what you're going to get from Aris, um, but they did cop a heavy defeat.
They look in all sorts. They got booed off. Uzunivis had to come out, try to save face after the game.
Yeah, they lost 2-0 to Orfi in Thessaloniki, which is a bit of a strange one. I'm also calling this a bit of a tricky fixture for Ike. They do host Kaliteas. We know Kaliteas is lowly, but they're not a team that goes down easy. They've taken points off teams, um, so that's a one obviously that could be a bit tricky for Ike if they struggle to break them. Um, Now, what I don't like about the Panserraikos fixture is it's a few hours before the bulk game, so we know they're not too far from each other, and wouldn't surprise me if there could be a little bit of agitators or anything like that at the Panserraikos game. Something to stir up a bit of trouble. But we can only control what we can control. Let's get that game against Panserraikos out of the way, get the victory, no injuries, no suspensions, nothing silly like that, because the week after is Ike. So the boys in America, the Americans will cover that one. But yeah, it's difficult game, obviously, the Ike game. So obviously you just want to come a bit unscathed from that. And then obviously after Ike, we got the week after Olympiacos as well. So no easy fixtures essentially. Um,
Looking forward to that one though. Really looking forward to that. They'll be nervous, rest assured.
it's two derbies back to back out of the way. So after that, it's almost smooth sailing for the rest of the league. Um, but yeah, it looks like the Europa League conference states it still says to be decided. It's
No, the 13th is the first sign of Feb.
they've announced it. The time is
20th. Yeah.
the time then has been not allocated.
Well, we didn't even know where we're playing the away leg. Which country?
I think
Hope they were saying Copenhagen, maybe.
Yeah.
Not 100%. But yeah, right though. They were trying to find a venue.
Yeah. So that's the Greek league side. Do you boys have anything you want to add on to the Greek league conversation? Anything in bulk that we may have missed?
I think we covered it all. You summed it up well there before. The next time we're on, it's going to be all systems go. We'll be reviewing Ike, previewing Olympiacos. Like that's blockbuster stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really there's obviously Panathinaikos are out of form, so we scored well and beat them well last year there, but nothing can be a given. There's no absolutes football, so let's go up there, get the victory, and then we can then focus on like 3 points and then continue to put pressure up the top as well. All right. The next obviously is basket. Now, ever since that heavy loss against FS, they've really turned it around. But like also obviously the last time the boys discussed a couple of the wins, especially against Milano and Baskonia. Since then, there's been two EuroLeague games. Won't really touch into the Greek League games because they're always going to be win. The big one was Bayern Munich away, who were traveling very well this season. But of course defeated them in Germany, which almost felt like a home game with all the fans that were there, 80 to 69. And recently, Panathinaikos beat the biggest disappointment, um, Virtus Bologna, 111 to 90. So we're scoring at will at the moment. Kendrick Nunn is showing the elite player that he is. Yurt 7 is starting to pick up, is getting more minutes. That was with in the place of the Lesor injury where he's got that was it the tibia injury? He's out for 4 to 6 months. But the good news is that DPG renewed him for 3 years, and he renewed Juancho for 2.5 years, I believe, which was good news for the club. Maintaining that core. There is news that Slukas is getting an MRI on the calf issue that he has. Um, yeah, I see that as a good sign. Last season he had calf issue and we end up winning it all. So let's hope that this is a bit of a trend for him. Calf issue equals EuroLeague and Greek League get the double. Um, but yeah, it looks like the boys are firing up in the EuroLeague. Like I said, Youth 7 now is stepping up, and we also made a signing Wenyan Gabriel from Maccabi, former Laker, close friends with Kendrick Nunn as well. So you'll see him get more minutes. More of a very good defensive player, good shot blocker on debut. I think he got like 6 blocks against Bayern Munich as well. So things are looking positive for Panathinaikos in both basket and in football. Also, the one major thing that we didn't discuss was the last time we beat PAOK on the same day in the three sports was in 2005. So we beat PAOK then in the three sports, and we beat them today in football, basket, and volleyball. So what an almighty day it's been.
In terms of I don't want to go down a path of omens because then I'm going to say some silly stuff and I'm going to embarrass myself. But yeah, in terms of the EuroLeague team, and Gabriel made a great debut game. Youth 7 was MVP in that last match. I think it was at 27 or 29 points. I can't remember exactly. But what a turnaround in form from his end. That's spectacular, and it's good to see he stepped up in the absence of Lissel. And it just seems like Ataman has got this ability to turn around at this time of season and start to show the form. And it's almost like he's teasing us, saying, "Yeah, don't doubt me. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it."
He said it. He said the season starts now, from January onwards. He said it himself. And the team's fired since then. The atmosphere, that Bologna game, the home one especially, was really cranked up. It sold out as well, which was good to see. Things are slowly falling into place there.
Yeah,
We're up to third there in the EuroLeague.
yeah.
It wasn't too long ago we're on here, we were saying we're 10th.
Well, yeah, I think ninth or eighth, ninth or tenth, one of thereof. But yeah, we'll talk about.
Third now, one win off first.
Yeah, we needed to beat Milano and Baskonia to get to fifth. We were talking about, and then yeah, now we're third. And even Ataman made that comment as well that we're ready to go to the UAE. So and the chant has come out as well for the Voodoo with the Aravia. So there's confidence amongst the fans and the team there as well.
But it can't be a good podcast on our part if we don't mention that, we are a potential NBA team in waiting. I still look forward to the day where we're playing the NBA teams. I won't name teams this time around. I'll stay neutral.
Yeah. And there's obviously the rumors, or it hasn't been 100% finalized, confirmed, that Panathinaikos and Partizan will come to Australia to play a game in Melbourne and Sydney. It hasn't been 100% confirmed. It's a lot of speculation in the media about it. So we'll wait and see. That's going to be in about mid-September thereof. So that's obviously one to keep an eye out on.
Mm.
Didn't one of the officials from Partizan come out and say yes, it's going to happen, or was that
Yeah.
just rumor?
Nothing official, as Sturge said, though. But yeah, the Partizan bloke, yeah, one of them come out and said it's happening.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
just don't know. The rough dates that I read were 21st, 22nd September. We just don't know where yet.
It'll be Melbourne and Sydney, they said. Yeah, Melbourne
Oh,
and Sydney Kings were the Aussie teams involved.
if it's both, we're laughing. I thought it was going to be one or the other.
No, I did see Melbourne and Sydney. Now, if one team hosts one and the other team hosts the other, I'm not too sure how it's going to work. I don't think maybe those logistics are being worked out now, but it's definitely Melbourne and Sydney.
Look at people like Dimitri. He gets to see him live up close in Greece all the time. It's about time we actually get to see him live as well.
I know. I mean, I was lucky last year. I haven't gone this season, but last year I went to a bunch of the games, and I kept the guys updated about it. I think the biggest one was either Maccabi in the playoffs when we flipped it, or Game 5 against Olympiacos for the championship, for the Panathafan. Those were the two big ones that I got to see. So it's definitely worth the atmosphere. I'll tell you that.
I can just picture Panathafan taking Kendrick Nunn for Tiropita down Oakley, down Eden Moore at Nikos.
Or Vanillas.
Yeah, just surrounded by a bunch of fans with green scarves on. I'll be there as well.
It's Well, they want to make it all, they want to push for the international now that it's, well, the second season that ESPN has the EuroLeague rights. There was the talk last season with the Celtics winning the NBA championship, the Trifiglia on both sides playing some sort of match. So there's these talks bubbling. So I think there's going to be things moving forward soon. Australia and things involving NBA teams within 2030, I think we'll see things come into fruition big time.
Also worth noting that Panathinaikos does host 10th local time Partizan at home. That will be Thursday night in Greece, 9:15 p.m.
So it's a double again. Two EuroLeague games this week coming.
I think Ike is in between.
No,
No, I
yeah,
think
Okay.
Ike in between.
Okay. Well, Partizan, they beat us in the away game earlier in the season.
Yeah, they gave us
Mhm.
a hiding.
It's going to be a good test because EuroLeague we play Partizan at home, and then the next week we go to Barcelona. So good test matches coming up. We'll see.
Yeah, they gave us a hiding, 18 points. But yeah,
Now we just need to wait for none to get renewed after Lesot and Juancho. Just Kendrick left.
yeah, and there's been talks about that as well, that none will be the next renewal.
Hmm.
That was with a non-NBA get out clause as well.
Yeah,
He's got that clause where he can get out at the moment.
I think it will be a no NBA or something like that. There's a discussion of a clause in regards to that.
That's what we need with Unai, something like that. None Sisame. He loved Greece all of a sudden. That's all we got to do with the Moroccan.
Mhm.
Anyways, boys, anything you guys want to discuss? Anything you want to raise before we wrap it up?
Um, I haven't seen much about transfers other than Yavas being discussed as a concrete name. Other than that, I don't have anything that I've read. No reports. I don't know if any of you have.
Nothing.
No, it's been very quiet.
Mhm.
Other
We'll
than the
see.
odd rumor. I mean, Zviderski got a fair bit of conversation last week, but
Even that's dying in the water.
yeah, it's gone
Mhm.
quiet as well.
We did say this is going to be a relatively quiet window. I remember saying I'd be shocked if there's any more than two coming in. Maximum two, I reckon.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
we haven't even got one now at the moment, though.
It's the outgoings that intrigue me more. If we can ship guys like all the leftovers, the Sporter, Vilena, there's an endless list. Klein Heisler, we'll be here all day naming them.
yeah. The latest rumors, which was about a week ago, was Kleinheisler was close to Varos. That was around the 500K mark. Lyavas was between Bulk and us. He favored us. We're pushing for something to happen this window as opposed to a free transfer in 6 months. They were the they were the main things. Obviously, we need to get rid of, your supporter's not even making the team anymore. So it's just a matter of time for him as well.
Mhm.
One thing I'll add, just in regards to Vikinger, our opponents in
Yeah,
the Conference League. I did hear that they played a cup game
I heard
during the
this.
week and they lost 5-1.
6-1.
6-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Even worse. So, yeah. I know that's their off season or they're coming off an off season, but they're not exactly traveling well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's been made official that their Panserraikos will not give us tickets. We won't be getting tickets for Ceres.
I was just about to say, yeah, about 20 minutes ago, it was announced that we won't have fans.
Are we really shocked?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's got to do with what I said before in regards.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
well, I guess the announcement says that we didn't even request. Η ΠΑΕ Panathinaikos δήλωσε πως δεν επιθυμεί ξεχωριστή θύρα και εισιτήρια.
I think we knew it was going to get rejected. I think it's got to do with Bulk playing nearby a couple of hours after.
Yep.
Yeah,
Makes
either
sense.
way.
All good, all good. I think we can wrap it up, boys. It was a pleasure speak to you both. Let's go Panserraikos us for the victory, and let's hope that Panetolikos does us a huge favor. Even if they don't beat them, just draw. Draw will be very good as well. But
Give us the score.
that would be amazing. And with that, thank you very much, boys. And for our listeners, thank you for listening and tuning in.